and welcome to Talk RX with Dr. Neha. I'm in Bali, and I met a new friend, Jess, and how cool is this? Jess is a chef on a yacht. It's her job, and I was so fascinated when I heard that. And I asked her if she struggles with any communication questions, and she was very open and willing and brave to say, I'll give it a go and let the other people learn while I learn. So thank you for your bravery.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah. So tell me, what have you been thinking about?
Well, what I've been thinking about is, especially in a workplace like a workplace I work in, like a really small place, a small confined environment, how do you communicate with the people in your like in a close proximity like that, your needs and what's going on for you, and how like you talk to them honestly about what's going on without offending them? Like, how do you have those difficult conversations in such a small environment where it works for both parties?
Right, and you can't run anywhere.
You got nowhere to go.
Yeah, and you're also like with love making their food, right? My first instinct was you only have difficult conversations when you're at port or wherever you're docking. So no, that's not true. It's a great question, right? Because one of the things you just said was, how do you have difficult conversations with someone else without offending them? And so the first thing that I tell you is, you don't get to determine that, right? So you have no control over that. What you have control over is your ability to be personally accountable, to communicate as clearly as possible, and to set things up for success, right? And then once you put it out there, your willingness to be really listen deeply to however it impacted them, and to be profoundly, profoundly curious about how their story might be very different than yours, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think the first thing we got to do is release and not offend them, right? Because you might.
Yeah.
It might upset them. The second thing I'd say is, there's ways that I've learned. It's not the way, but it's some way, which is, I wrote it in a book called Talk RX. Will you grab the book over there? So it's a really easy way to learn things like agreements, right? So sometimes, let's say you're hanging out with a bunch of people and it's a new group and you're really annoyed that they're not on time. Let's just say that, right? And here you are, you're on the boat with them, and you're saying dinner is at X time, and they're still out in the water, or they're doing whatever they're doing, and nobody is giving any regard to this. Could you see how something like that might be frustrating?
Absolutely. Been there, done that.
Okay, so I was just picking a time thing, right? So in that scenario, you have to ask yourself, did I actually have an agreement with them? Or did you say something like this, dinner's at 6? Because that's a statement. That's not a question. That's not an agreement that you made with someone else. If I was going to make an agreement with you, what I'd say is, hey, Jess, it's really important. I like to time everything, and I'd love to make sure that you get to eat this dish warm. It tastes so much better. So I'm wondering, in order for me to do that, what time is going to work really well for you?
Yeah, and that's the kind of platform I've created with Time on the Boat.
Oh, you have?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Time on the boat, everyone's very flexible with it, and I've got to be flexible with the guests, but I've also got to kind of set my boundaries in terms of what's going to, food-wise.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of thought and preparation that goes into that.
Okay, so tell me, around what topic might you not feel as confident having a conversation with someone?
I think having the conversations about conflict.
Okay, so give me an example of conflict.
Maybe where there's expectations of two people's needs being met, different expectations of the outcome.
Okay.
And it's not communicated clearly. Like, one person has an expectation of a certain activity happening, and I have an expectation of them being back on the boat. Maybe it is a time thing.
Yeah.
But having that, two expectations from different parties kind of crossing in completely opposite directions, and then people getting frustrated and upset and emotional because things are kind of not the way they think they should be.
Right, so it's kind of like this experience. It's like like two boats just missing each other.
Completely.
Yeah. So I think the most important thing there is so I call it the 5 levels of agreement,
Okay.
right? So learning the 5 levels of agreement. So this is in chapter 21 of the book. It's called He Said, She Said. So the first thing you want to do is set the ground rules,
Okay.
right? Because this is the deal. You can have something ready and make an agreement, say like dinner's at 6 or whatever it is, but something may have changed for them.
Yeah.
So wouldn't it be nice if you came up with a backup plan, which is dinner's at 6, it'll be hot and ready. I'll make sure it's served. If you're not here or something else happens, it will be waiting with your name on it in the fridge. Right?
Yeah.
All right. So let's go through the 5 levels of agreement real quickly. So let's imagine that you and I are making plans in Bali to go shopping.
Okay.
Okay. No, let's go to the movies. Let's say we're going to the movies. Okay. I'm trying to think. Gungun, can you tell me what a movie would be out here that someone might be going to see? Is there any movie or dance festival?
Movie, Paradiso, maybe?
Oh, Paradiso. Okay, great. Thank you for that. I had to get some support from the camera crew. So let's say we're figuring out if we can see Paradiso this weekend. Okay? So you're gonna ask me 5 different times, if I'd like to go see Paradiso with you this weekend. I'm gonna answer you 5 different times, differently each time, and you tell me if we have an agreement.
Okay. Perfect.
Okay. Level 1 agreement. Go ahead.
Neha, I would love to go to movies with you. Would you like to go and see Paradiso this weekend?
Oh, I didn't even know it was out yet. I had no idea. Are we going to the movies?
No.
Why not?
Because you're just curious about it. You didn't agree to anything.
Yeah, I pretty much acknowledged that you spoke. Wasn't that nice of me?
Yeah.
Like, oh, Paradiso's out? I didn't know it was out this weekend, right? All right, level 2 agreement. Go ahead.
Neha, do you want to go to movies this weekend and watch Paradiso?
I have been dying to see it ever since we saw the trailer last fall. So are we going to the movies?
No, not yet. You haven't
No.
agreed to it.
Okay, but what did I do in level 2 agreements that was different than level 1?
You had more interest in going. You acknowledged that you wanted to go.
Right, so I'm showing some positive interest, right? Okay, level 3 agreement. So I acknowledged you, level 1. Level 2 was showing positive interest. Level 3, here we go.
Neha, would you like to go to the movies this weekend and watch Paradiso?
Yes, I would love to. And so I'm going to go to this temple. We're going on this tour of this temple. So as long as I'm back in time, we can definitely do it. Are we going?
Still not.
Why not?
Well, you said yes, but it's only if you're back from the temple.
Right, so what I did was I said yes, the words yes, so you might believe we're going.
Yeah.
Except what I did was give myself a backdoor out, right? And so what I'm going to say is I'll be the one who 10 minutes before the movie texts you or WhatsApps you and says, go ahead without me, we're not back yet. So therein is room for disappointment.
Yeah.
Okay, level 4 agreement.
Neha,
Oh, by the way, I call that one a qualified yes.
a qualified yes. Okay.
Or California yes. Is another way to say that. Okay, level 4.
Neha, would you like to go to movies this weekend and watch Paradiso?
Yes, I would. Are we going?
Yes, we are going.
So you're a busy woman and I'm a busy woman, and lots of opportunities are going to come up for ecstatic dance and singing and going all sorts of to waterfalls and all sorts of places. And so the weekend's going to come and go, and we're going to run into each other at yoga on Monday and say, oh, we said we were going to go, but we didn't go. I gave you level 4 is a very clear yes.
Okay, but there's nothing scheduled.
Yes, so here we go, level 5 commitment.
Okay, Neha, would you like to go and watch Paradiso this weekend?
Yes, I would love to. And how about we get Gungun here to drive us in the car to the 5 o'clock show on Friday evening?
Sounds perfect.
Yes, right at that theater 2 blocks away.
Now we have an agreement.
Now we have an agreement. So for you on the boat and off the boat as well, you know on the boat the scenarios, the 5 or 7 scenarios that happen where people don't end up coming back to dinner at the time they said they would. Figure out a way to set that clearly, right? So if you're back, this is what'll happen. If you're not, this is what'll happen. Like, you get to set the rules.
Yeah.
They're here playing. To them, there is no time.
There is no time. Bali, it's like Bali time or Spanish time. Mañana, mañana.
Yes. So was that helpful?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So for any of you that struggle, whether you're in close quarters or not, if you feel frustrated that you have expectations, first of all, ask yourself if they have been expressed. And not expressed like, be at dinner at 5. That's you making a statement and no one else agreeing to it. I'm talking about you asking a question like, hey, would 5 o'clock tonight for dinner work for you? Right? And having a question that someone else can answer. So we just went through the 5 levels of agreement. And so just remember that until you have a level 5 agreement, you don't have an agreement. 1 to 4 is you still in negotiation. So if you would like to brush up on this or learn it for the first time, chapter 21 of Talk RX, my book will teach you all about it. So thanks again for joining us, and this is Dr. Neha with Talk RX, and Jess, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. That was amazing and very insightful.
We will see you again soon. If you have any questions, please post on the blog below. I would love to hear your thoughts on how this goes awry in your life. Thank you.